my channel. Welcome back to another video. I'm Jessie and you're watching welcome to the video where I talk about the first 3 books for NB Book Club. Those of you who are not familiar or who have not yet joined, NB Book Club is a non-binary book club, a book club where we read books by non-binary authors. I started this book club, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, because stories by non-binary authors just were not being celebrated, were not being read, were not being hyped and put on anticipated releases list, and it broke my heart, and I wanted to have a space for non-binary people to read books by them, about them. NB Book Club is a space for non-binary people and allies to read books by non-binary folks. And so the books that we read aren't just books that have non-binary protagonists, because it's important to acknowledge that any works by non-binary authors are important. And non-binary authors are not only valid when they're talking about non-binary things. I personally really like reading books about cis people from non-binary perspectives for so many reasons that I just cannot begin to get into for this video. And I'm so proud at how much NB Book Club is growing and how y'all are participating in it, and I really love it. I love to see it. So we're going to be talking about the 3 books that we'll be reading from January all the way into March. And then also the co-hosts that are going to be joining us for those books, as well as some of the fun things that we're doing over on NB Book Club. We've read so many books and I've had such a fantastic experience with them. We've been voting on the books that we're going to be reading, and so the books that I am going to be talking about are ones that club members have selected. So I'm really geeked about them. I'm so stoked for all of the non-binary books coming out this year. I lost count at 60 books.
So
we got a lot of books to read, and it's time to get cracking. So the first book that we're going to be reading for the month of January is none other than She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan. And I am so freaking excited about this. This was actually on my December TBR, but then it got voted for January's NB Book Club selection, so I didn't end up reading it. And so this book is described as Mulan meets the Song of Achilles in a bold, queer, and lyrical reimagining of the rise of the founding emperor of the Ming Dynasty. It is a debut novel, it is sapphic, and it is supposed to be utterly amazing. So many people read it last year and just adored it. It is historical fantasy and is supposed to be a really gripping, bloody tale of betrayal, fate, power, the beginnings and the endings of dynasties, and I just, what a mouthful. I'm so freaking excited. The co-host for this month is going to be none other than Sandra of GotAThingForThings. I love Sandra. She is so sweet and funny, and I'm so excited to have a live show with her, and that live show is going to be, I'm gonna put the graphic up so that you'll be able to see it, but I think it's gonna be on the 30th. It's a Sunday at 3 p.m. But there's the graphic. I'm so excited. So the way that the book club kind of works as of right now is we're gonna have the live show here on YouTube, but for people who don't, miss the live show or whatever, who just aren't a big fan of YouTube, it also runs on Instagram. Then for the month of February, we have one of my most anticipated releases, and I have a bunch of people who I just absolutely adore who have already read it, and they have all said that the book is incredible. So I'm really excited about that, and that book is none other than Love and Other Disasters by Anita Kelly. I don't have the physical copy yet, but I'm so excited because it's on its way. And I just need to read y'all the synopsis from Goodreads because it is so amazing. It's such a freaking mouthful. Okay, listen to this. The first openly non-binary contestant on America's favorite cooking show falls for their clumsy competitor in this delicious romantic comedy debut that is both fantastically fun and crack your heart wide open vulnerable. Recently divorced and on the verge of bankruptcy, Dahlia Woodson is ready to reinvent herself on the popular reality competition show Chef's Special. Too bad the first memorable move she makes is falling flat on her face, sending fish tacos flying. Not quite the fresh start she was hoping for. Still, she's focused on the winning until she meets someone she might want a future with more than she needs the prize money. After announcing their pronouns on national television, London Parker has enough on their mind without worrying about the klutzy competitors stationed in front of them. They're there to prove the trolls, including a fellow contestant and their dad, wrong, and falling in love was never part of the plan. As London and Dahlia get closer, reality starts to fall away. Goodbye, guilt about divorce, anxieties about uncertain futures, and stress from transphobia. Hello, hilarious shenanigans on set, wedding crashing, and spontaneous dips into the Pacific. But as the finale draws near, Dahlia and London's steamy relationship starts to feel the heat, both in and outside the kitchen, and they must figure out if they have the right ingredients for happily ever after. Since filming this video, we have settled on a co-host for Love and Other Disasters, and that is none other than Alexandria the Great, who is absolutely amazing. And that live show will be taking place on March 24th at 4 p.m. CST. And then we have one of my most highly anticipated books of the century, and that is the prequel to Pet, which is none other than Bitter by Akwaeke Emezi. Now, you may remember Pet as just this really sweet YA book that just took the book community by storm. It was a story about a trans girl who accidentally cuts herself on her mother's painting, and it brings the creature in the painting to life. And she names the creature Pet, and they kind of go on this mission. Pet says that the reason that they're there is because there's evil in the town that they have to root out. But in this world, evil has already been addressed and swept away, it's gone. Pet and Jam have to find the source of the evil and root it out, and it is such an amazing story. Huge content warnings, though, for child abuse. It was a really fantastic book, and so the prequel is following Bitter, Pet's mother, who is the painter, and I'm just so excited. And the synopsis for this, again, I don't have the physical, so I'm just gonna read the synopsis, and it sounds so good. After a childhood in foster care, Bitter is thrilled to have been chosen to attend Eucalyptus, a special school where she can focus on her painting surrounded by other creative teens. But outside this haven, the streets are filled with protests against the deep injustices that grip the city of Lucille. Bitter's instinct is to stay safe within the walls of Eucalyptus, but her friends aren't willing to settle for a world that's so far away from what they deserve. Pulled between old friendships, her artistic passion, and a new romance, Bitter isn't sure where she belongs, in the studio or in the streets. And if she does find a way to help the revolution while being true to who she is, she must also ask, at what cost? I genuinely could not be more excited. And the co-host for that book is going to be Monty and Starla. So freaking excited for that discussion with them on Bitter. We have the live show for Iron Widow, which was our December book. So here's the graphic, here's the details on that if you want to join, mark your calendars. And then the live show for We Are Not Broken got moved from November to February, because that way we can celebrate it for Blackathon, which the announcement video for that is going to come very soon. And Starla is going to be the co-host for We Are Not Broken. So I'm very excited about all of these live shows. Mark your calendars. Can't freaking wait. Make sure you follow NB Book Club over on Instagram, because that is where we vote on the books that we're going to pick. And I also do educational reels and comedy reels about being non-binary. I do NB shoutouts, NB of the day. I talk about the upcoming non-binary book releases. There's just tons and tons of really good non-binary content over there. So definitely check that stuff out. Akasha makes non-binary reels over there too. And she's cute. She's so cute. If you want more content from me, I do have a Patreon, but all my social media links will be in the description box below. Stay safe, and I hope to see you in my next one.